Hi preschool, it's Miss Alyssa again. It's good to see you. I miss seeing you guys in person. I hope you're doing well at home and staying healthy. I'm here today to show you the activity for week number 4. I have my 3 bins, 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to start with our hand strengthening activity. So the first activity we're going to do today is transferring water using a dropper. So you're going to need 2 cups, one with a little bit of water in it and one that's empty, some food coloring, and a dropper. And if you don't have a dropper, that's okay. You can just practice pouring the water back and forth. That's also a good activity for hand skills and wrist pronation and supination. But today I'm going to use a dropper. And a lot of times these will come in baby Tylenol or in some kind of skin serum or moisturizer. Mom, don't throw those away. These are great for fine motor skills and pincer grasp. So we're going to start by adding just a couple drops of food coloring to our water. I'm going to add 2. 1, 2. And we have this beautiful blue color. We're going to take our dropper and we're going to mix it up. And then we're going to use our pincher fingers to pinch and draw some water and transfer it into the other cup. So we're going to keep pinching until all of that water gets in to the other cup. And you really only need a little bit of water. I think I put a little bit too much water in here. We'll be here all day transferring this water. But it is really fun and the kids really love it. So again, this is a great hand strengthening activity. I'm going to do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then for those of you who don't have a dropper at home, I'm going to just show you how we pour. And a lot of kids have a lot of trouble with pouring, so this is good practice. And you can always try pouring it back and forth. Make sure you have something down on the table to absorb the spill, like a towel or something like that. So we're gonna stop there, and that is our hand strengthening activity for today. We're gonna move on to bin number 2. And I know we've really been practicing a lot cutting out lines. So we're going to graduate to the next level. We're going to practice cutting out circles today. So we're going to cut out a big green circle to make our frog and a big red circle. So I always like having a template for circles for kids because it teaches them to draw circles, but it also helps to get that perfect circle, and it encourages using a stabilizing hand for handwriting. So I have a big Tupperware lid or a Tupperware container and a smaller Tupperware container. So we're going to use green paper for the big Tupperware container. And we're going to trace it. So we need a marker. And I'm going to take my marker and trace around the circle. And we'll get a big green circle. And then I'm going to take my little Tupperware container or lid and trace a smaller circle on red paper. And if you only have white paper at home, you can always just color in the circle before you cut it out. All right, now we're going to practice cutting out those circles. So I'm going to cut out my green circle first. And I'm going to make sure that I turn the paper every time I can't go anymore when I'm cutting on that line. And sometimes we sing the open shut song. That helps with rhythmic cutting. So we have a big green circle. And then we're going to have our little red circle. I'm going to cut that out as well. And sometimes, I know some of you know this already, we might need to put a little arrow at the bottom of the circle to show where to cut into the shape. That really helps kids. They struggle sometimes knowing where to cut into the shape. So I'm going to cut out the red circle. And there we have it. We have two circles. We have a big green one and a smaller red one. Now we're going to take glue and we're going to glue the red circle onto the green circle. And you want to make sure you use enough glue so that it sticks well, because we're going to end up folding this. Alright, so then it should look like this when it's glued together. And now we're going to practice our folding skills. We're going to fold that circle right in half. And for kids who can't cut circles yet, you can always use a paper plate. And just use the smaller red circle inside the paper plate. And just color the paper plate green. And that helps for kids who are just learning to cut shapes. So when you're done, it kind of looks like this. This is our frog's mouth. So we also need eyes for our frog. So you're going to need an index card or a smaller white piece of paper. And I know I had one here. Here it is. So I have yellow index cards, so I'm going to just use a white piece of paper so our frog doesn't have yellow eyes. We're going to practice our folding skills again. We're going to fold this little piece of paper in half. And then we're going to take our marker and draw yet another circle. You can make big circles or little circles for the eyes. It doesn't really matter. Mine looks like this. So you want to keep that folded so that when you cut out your circle, you end up having two eyes the same size. We have two eyes. We're going to take those eyes and we're going to glue them right here. And sometimes I like to make marks for the kids so they know where to put the glue. So I will put two X's here so we know where to put the eyes and the glue. Now you want to make sure when you glue those eyes on, they're not all the way on the green. They're kind of halfway on the green. Now it's starting to look like our frog. And then you want to take a marker and put dots inside those white circles so we can make eyes. And we have eyes. And then the last thing you want to do is maybe have mom or dad help to make a tongue for our frog. So I'm going to use my red scrap paper to make that. So I drew a tongue. And for some kids, they might be able to cut this out. Let's cut out our tongue. Move our scraps out of the way. And glue that tongue halfway in and halfway out of a frog's mouth. And there you have it. We have a little frog, and we practiced our cutting skills and our folding skills. So what I did was I took a straw and I taped the frog onto a straw so it's like a little puppet. You can use a stick from outside, you can use a paint stirrer, anything that resembles a straw to hold your frog up so that he looks like a puppet. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. We're going to move on to bin number 3. Clean up all our stuff. It's always good to have a clear working area. Okay, and today we're going to go back to buttons. I always keep buttons, snaps, and zippers inside my third bin. So just remember, when you're teaching kids to button, buttoning first is easier than unbuttoning. So you're going to feed the button halfway through the hole, and then you can ask your child to grab the other side of the button as it peeks through the hole. And I often say peekaboo, pull it through. And we're going to do that again. Peekaboo, pull it through. We'll do the third one, peekaboo, pull it through. And the last one, peekaboo, and pull it through. Now, when we unbutton, that's where that stabilizing hand comes in to play, because we use that when we traced our stencil for our circle. Kids always need to have a stabilizing hand to hold half of the fabric down when they're unbuttoning, and then they're going to pull over the button with the other hand. So I want to hold this up so you can see it. I have a stabilizing hand, and then I pull over the button. A lot of kids just take both sides of the shirt or the jacket and try to pull it as hard as they can. You really want to encourage that stabilizing hand to pull. And we buttoned and unbuttoned today. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's activity. Stay healthy, stay in touch, and I look forward to seeing you on our Zoom visit. If you haven't scheduled a Zoom visit yet, please respond to my email, and I'll be happy to set one up. Take care. Signing off.